From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, we fight our country's battles in the air, on land and sea. First to fight for right and freedom, and to keep our honor clean. We are proud to claim the title of United States Marine. On November 10th, 1775, a few young Americans got together, and they were called Marines.
Be it resolved that 2 battalions of Marines be raised, that they be enlisted and commissioned to serve for and during the present war between Great Britain and the colonies, that they be distinguished by the names of the 1st and 2nd battalions of American Marines.
These were the men called Marines. One whose words you will hear was Captain John W. Thomason. The time was 1918. The place, France. But what John Thomason wrote about his Marine comrades speaks for every man who has worn the uniform, from 1775 to today.
There were Northwesterners with straw-colored hair and delicately spoken chaps with the stamp of Eastern universities on them. There were large-boned fellows from Pacific Coast lumber camps and tall, lean Southerners who swore amazingly in gentle, drawling voices. There were husky farmers from the Corn Belt and youngsters who had sprung to arms from the necktie counter. And there were also a number of diverse people who ran curiously to type, with drilled shoulders and a bone-deep sunburn and a tolerant scorn of nearly everything on earth. They were the Leathernecks, the old breed of American regular, regarding the service as home. And they transmitted their temper and character and viewpoint to the high-hearted mass which filled the ranks of the Marine Brigade. There is nothing particularly glorious about sweaty fellows going along to fight. And yet they represent a great deal more than individuals mustered into a division. There is also what is behind those men, the old battles, long forgotten, that secured our nation. Traditions of things endured and things accomplished, such as regiments hand down forever, and that abstract thing called patriotism, which I have never heard combat soldiers mention. All this passes into the forward zone to the point of contact, where war is grit with horrors. And common men endure these horrors and overcome them, along with the insistent yearnings of the belly and the reasonable promptings of fear. And in this, I think, is glory.
What John Thomason described so long ago is alive today. The same iron character of the old Corps is still being passed on by dedicated drill instructors.
Do you understand that? Yes, sir. Get on my bus now.
If every effort to train you, even after some of you have given up on yourself. Now, platoon 3049.
They teach determination and commitment. This is where Marine team spirit begins.
Your next, your instruction will be unarmed, restrained, taking you unarmed, will give you the ability to subdue your opponent without using deadly force.
It's here that these young Americans grasp a full understanding of what it is to be a Marine. It's here that they become once and for all Marines. That noble inheritance of tradition and honor is carefully handed down. All the valor and glory that Marines have accomplished on the battlefields of American history is a heritage that's still very much alive today. The Marine, physically tough enough and mentally strong enough to withstand the ugly violence and terrors of war.
They came from the east and the west, the north and the south, the cities and the farms, all drawn together by a common challenge and a privileged reward.
The right to be called Marine, to share the traditions of an elite corps. And so it is today, as it was in the past. The Marine, still willing to fight against what seems to be insurmountable odds. The Marine, still able to move forward into the heat of conflict with a comradeship and loyalty that's still very much alive today. That fiery spirit and pride still burns through in the minds and hearts of Marines. Now and forever.